Here we go. Chosen Sports Boyos back again. What better way to celebrate the GOAT, Michael Jordan? Not LeBron D money. The GOAT, Michael Jordan's birthday.
It's up for debate.
It's debatable. We'll cover it another time. But we're going to be going over some NBA action. We got the All-Star break fast approaching, coming up the first week of March. We're going to be going through our picks and flicks.
Pick me a winner.
We're going to be going through the different seedings 1 through 8 in the East and the West, and then some honorable mentions. A couple teams like on the cusp that we just have no fucking clue why the hell they aren't in there right now. So to start off, we're going to be doing the Miami Heat. What the fuck happened to them?
1 year, they're at the top of the sports world, representing themselves in the finals. We all knew they were going to get smacked by the Lakers.
High five.
But realistically, they're back to the bottom of the barrel now.
Talk about coming out flat, man. Unbelievable.
Anything is like possible. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, unless you're the 1 through 4 seed, like you're usually like a 500 or under team. So there's still plenty of time for them to get back in, especially with Jimmy Butler out from COVID. That like cost them a couple of games. Like D Money was saying, he's not just the heart, he's the soul of that team.
He is, man.
Yeah, they're currently sitting 2 games behind the 8 seed Hornets right now. They're 11-16 on the year, 407 win percentage. That's not ideal for the team that was in the championship last year. Like you said, they've been dealing with some things like some injuries, COVID shit, stuff like that. But really, no excuse, I don't think.
They had a Cinderella run last year anyway. Like nobody in their right mind saw them going to the finals. I know I definitely did it, at least not until they had a matchup against a few of those guys in the playoffs, like the Celtics. So I love the Celtics. Vin loves the Celtics. Team Money loves the Celtics. We're Boston boys, but I knew Bam Adebayo was going to clap their cheeks all day. No, they can't contain them.
Yeah, no chance.
No, hopefully they could turn that shit around. I like to see them get in there. They're scrappy. I like that type of style of play.
They just have a lot of good role players. They have a similar scrappy team to the Celtics where they just have the spot up shooters. They have the big, four men down low. That's the one thing the Celtics don't have, but they have the good role players. The people that they don't have any of the flashy superstars, but they have the guys that do things right. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they get hot. They're just gonna bang threes all day. It's tough to beat them.
Sharp shooting.
The defense is nice too. They can lock you down around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go off to the Hornets. Definitely a flick. They ain't win shit. They do this every year. They're either 8 or 9 seed. Even when they had Kemba, they were just wasting them away. LaMelo though, he's a stud. He is nasty.
Picked him up in fantasy. That's my dog. He got COVID right now. Rest in peace. But
what happened?
He got COVID. He's on my fantasy team. Yeah,
he's got COVID, huh?
He's on COVID protocol, so if he's not in my lineup, he's got COVID in my opinion. So
that dude's putting up crazy rookie numbers. He's shattering records for triple doubles and shit.
Yeah.
He leads rookies in points, rebounds, assists, steals. Unbelievable. Yeah, he's phenomenal. He's the best ball brother for sure.
I know. He hasn't even played a full.
It's not even close.
In his first 20 games in the league, he proved that.
I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah, no, it's very obvious.
He already topped Lonzo's point record in the game.
And then Gordon Hayward's been surprisingly good too.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of good scorers on that team. Their whole issue is just they're not consistent and they can't really get it done every night. Even Hayward, he somehow bounced back from his glass bones and paper skin. He's actually been balling.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arms.
I know. When they signed him, I was like, what a waste of money. But
did they sign him?
I mean, he's definitely been playing pretty well.
It was 32 mil. That's how he was due. I think he was due 34 if he stood with the Celtics.
That's way too much. It's just with his injury history and how he's been on and off the court the last 2 years. That's way too much money. I'm glad. Honestly, I liked him as the player, and I wish he panned out better with Boston. I was psyched when he came here originally, but it doesn't always work out like that. He had some really big setback injuries. He's coming back strong this year though. But I wouldn't pay him a max contract like you just said. Fuck that.
No chance.
I mean, that's one thing Jordan ain't good at as an owner. You know what I mean? Obviously, he has some say. He's not the GM, but they never bring good dudes on good deals. Like the Terry Rozier deal 2 years ago, they overpaid the shit out of him too. Now he's sitting behind LaMelo.
Scary Terry had a crazy playoff run.
But
He has been playing well, but not for the money they're paying him. They're paying
No. He's not. You can't pay a guy that's coming off the bench now with that much money.
They're paying him.
Yeah, they paid him off of one playoff run, and then they figured it was going to translate to 82-game season. That's not going to roll.
The Bulls too. They're sitting at that 9 seed right now, right behind the Hornets, ahead of the Heat. Zach LaVine's cooking. That's my dog too. I got him in fantasy as well. He's fucking nasty, and he never gets any help, any supporting cast. That Bulls team would be a lot better if they just added a couple more pieces, because LaVine puts the team on his back each and every night.
Absolutely, he's a bona fide stud. LaVine can do it all.
One of the
most clutch player in the league this year. He's
amazing.
Clutch shots, like contested threes, fadeaway threes, crazy. Buzzer beaters.
He's got to be up over 26 a game, right?
Yeah, he's hovering around like 25, 26. But then he's putting up 7 assists, so he's improved passing, and then he's putting up like 4 or 5 rebounds a game.
Might even be higher.
Not even.
I'm looking right now. I'm checking his fantasy stats because I have him on my team as well.
Not even.
He's averaging over 28 points a game right now.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah,
that's a huge leap for somebody who's a dunker. He's a dunker.
Yeah, no, he is much more than that, man.
No help.
Great.
Every year, it's just him. He puts the team.
I can see them sneaking in. I really can.
Absolutely.
If they get all their guys back healthy, they really could. They got Kobe White, who's a great scorer. He's a good sixth man when they use him in that role, but I know he's been starting a couple of games here and there. Then Lowry Markkinen, he's good. He's weird, man. He could drop 30 one night, and the next night
he just got injured recently as well. I don't know how serious it was, but
then they got.
I thought he was going to be a much better player than he's been so far, though.
Yeah,
after his rookie year, I was like, oh, this guy might be something special, but he's kind of just simmered off.
The white power forward, he can shoot. He's the next Dirk.
Simmered right off.
Thaddeus Young too has been playing well for them.
Yeah, he's an old school grinder, man. He's been in the league for a while, but he's still.
He has.
He's coming in hot right now, and he contributes in literally every stat category. He gets blocks, he gets steals, assists, boards. He puts up usually double-digit points every game too. Guy's a pretty nice player for them. Good addition, and he's playing pretty well for them right now. So
very good veteran, no doubt about it.
Wendell Carter Jr. is really good too. He's consistent double numbers, but he can't stay on the court. When they draft him, he just couldn't stay on the court.
He just recently came back, I believe, last game.
But he's good for like at least 12 and 10 a night, and he's a pretty good defender. But don't matter if you're not on the court. It don't matter. I don't care how good you are. If you're not on the court, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
It doesn't.
If you're not on the field, you're not on the court. It doesn't matter how good you are. You got to actually play.
Got to produce.
Yeah.
Do you guys think the Hawks could potentially sneak in? I thought they were going to be better. They're the 11th seed right now. I'm pretty sure they just smacked us. I was just watching the game before I hopped on here.
They were beating us at halftime.
They're beating them? Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, they were up. I think 10 when I just hopped on here. It was only 4 minutes left, I think, in the game too. So they're probably going to beat us tonight. But I think the Raptors are not the Raptors. The Hawks have low-key a good amount of talent. And,
they're really good. I think their issue is their perimeter defending. You know what I mean? They have Clint Capella inside. They got good scorers in Trae Young. They got Herter. A couple of young guys with Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish is going to be a great player.
I can't forget who the hell the other guy is.
John Collins.
Yeah, then they got John Collins. Yeah, he's a beast. He's consistent
high fly
night. So they got the inside D. They got the scoring, but they don't have the perimeter defense. Trae Young is terrible at defense. I think since he's entered the league, he's something like one of the most efficient scorers. I think he's top 5 efficiency wise, but then on defense he's the worst, ranked last among starters.
He drains the tank on offense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's going for it. He wants to go for 40, 50 a night. He's pulling up from 40 feet. He doesn't care.
Yeah, but then they don't even have a 2 guard. You know what I mean? I know the comparison for him when he came in for Trae was Curry, which I could see a lot of Curry. You know what I mean? Well, obviously. Trae's a little bit of a better passer, but thing is with Curry, especially when Steve Kerr came in, he improved his defense tremendously, which he doesn't get enough credit for. But even before that, they had Klay Thompson, a lockdown 2 guard. They don't have a lockdown 2.
Oh yeah,
it's just
no.
All right, you could score, you could shoot, all you want, you could drive the lane, and then by then it's the stretch bigs are pulling Clint Capella out of the way, so it's easy buckets inside.
Yep.
So
you could score all you want. You can't stop the other team. You're in trouble.
Crazy. We'll go on to the Raptors, the number 7. Got the old school Vinsanity jersey. I love this thing, man.
The human highlight reel, man.
I miss that guy. He's another one with injuries, man. He was so good.
Unbelievable.
But Raptors is in 7th seed, 13-5. Highly underperforming. I'm very surprised. A lot of it I think comes down to their defense. They have Chris Boucher, who stepped up tremendously. Potentially one of the most improved player of the year candidates, as well as 6th man of the year. But losing Gasol and Ibaka, I mean, that's a huge blow. Those are like 2 pretty quality centers. And I know Siakam, he's been kind of on and off the court. He's been having some issues with management and whatnot. I think there was like the 3rd week of the season, he got benched for like 2 games. He had like a scuffle with a team official or something like that. So, and Kyle Lowry, there's been so many trade rumors about him leaving with this being his last year on the contract. So it's a lot of locker room controversy going on. Even though guys like Van Vliet and Anunoby, who just came back last night, he was out a few games with a calf strain, have been absolutely balling this year, So they got some pieces there. And then Nick Nurse, who's just a tremendous coach, another Popovich product.
Yeah, no, they're a good team. I like they have been a little bit underperforming this year. They dealt with a couple injuries, and I think especially Siakam in the beginning of the year too. He's been a little cold, but he's starting to pick it up more now, and they really depend on him for scoring and all that. But Van Vliet's really stepping up. He looks really good this year.
Van Vliet, Van Vliet, Federico.
Mike called him Van Fleet with an F for like about a year before he figured out it was a V.
Dude, I had a 2K my career with him. In that game, they just make him throw. He'll be like, because he's mad short too, so he can't shoot over anybody. He'll be double teamed all the time because like he'll just drain buckets if you leave him wide open. He's fucking shooting. I'm like spamming A. I'm like Van Fleet, like pass me the fucking ball, dude. Like I'm in the paint right up like fucking Van Fleet.
The screams I would hear from the other side of the Xbox mic, dude.
I mean, Chen knows when I'm playing fucking Xbox and games and shit, I have like no patience, dude. And
I don't have much either. It's tough too. The games are so cheesy. I mean, fucking, they just build a game right for Christ's sake.
All right. Well, I think we'll go on to the Knicks, who are probably the biggest shock of the season. Julius Randle is absolutely eating.
Not in the All-Star game, dude.
Dude, I hate the stupid fan vote for the All-Star game. They don't have Randall in there, they don't have Vucevic in there, and they don't have Jaylen Brown in there, which makes no sense.
You love it?
How about last
year? Randall is an All-Star this year. He is an All-Star.
All 3 of those guys Mike said was an All-Star. It's a popularity vote. It's not even who plays the best. It sucks.
Bro, last year,
absolutely not.
Taco Fall in the top 10 for fan voting, like for fun.
No.
It's for shit. Yeah, they did do. Last year he was top 10 fan voting.
I think Klay Thompson's like 8. He hasn't even played in 2 years.
He hasn't even fucking played.
It's so bad. It's ridiculous. They need to change that. It's so ridiculous.
It's just coaches. You know what I mean? Just coaches.
They should let the owners pick the coaches. It should be like a collective vote. I mean, let's be honest. The fans voting for whoever they want, and it's crazy.
I feel like the fans should only be involved if it's like a close race for like the last 1 or 2 spots. You know what I mean? It's like neck and neck. Then it's like, okay, let's let the fans get in there. You know what I mean? Like they one of those last 2 spots. It's like whatever. Like maybe some dude doesn't get his like All-Star game bonus, like whatever. But at least you're gonna have most of the players in there be people who should actually be in there who belong.
Yeah, Julius Randle, he's an All-Star.
Hey now, you're an All-Star. Get your game on, go play.
Yeah,
point blank. There's no doubt about it.
Putting the team on his back.
Then RJ Barrett's taking a big leap. You know what I mean? He's starting to play like the guy like they drafted last year. It's crazy.
Yeah, he looks good too.
He looks real good.
This shows, man, that Duke team, they had Zion, Barrett, and Reddish. They should have easily won it, but I mean, what are you going to do?
They didn't win.
I know. I mean, they had the squad. Mm-hmm. All 3 of those kids are going to be unbelievable players.
Yeah, all of them. And
don't forget Quickly too. Emmanuel Quickly on the.
I was just going to say him too.
Yeah, high praise from Paul George. He was saying like like you're nice. Your float is nice. He's been putting up some good numbers. Too bad they got they just added Derrick Rose, and I love Derrick Rose. Tom Thibodeau Thibs, he loves Rose. He loves those old Bulls guys, but he's kind of just a deterrent to this team just because you got guys like Quickly, and I mean Alfred Payton's been wishy-washy, but he's still young. You gotta let those young guys play, as much as I
Absolutely.
do. Rose.
D Rose, I mean, he's a great player, but he's fading away. I mean, he should be coming off the bench on a contender.
Yeah, exactly. He could be like the perfect sixth man for a contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he fits decently well with the Knicks just because they don't have a lot of like veteran leadership. So I think him just being there, being the leader, and having some experience and a guy they can trust and put their faith in, like I think that's good for them. I think that the Knicks needed someone like that.
Yeah, I mean he fits well, but I mean if you look at both sides of the coin, it sucks for the younger guys because again the minutes cut into when they're putting up pretty similar production, and then it also sucks for him because he's just kind of wasting away. It's like he's starting to get older now. He's had some injuries, some serious injuries. So, like, I'm sure the dude wants a chip,
I mean, do you see Derrick Rose on the Knicks long term? I don't.
Probably not.
Whenever his contract's up,
Exactly.
And we'll go on to the Pacers sitting at 500, the 5th seed, where they usually end up. They're usually 4th seed, but they have a lot of nice pieces on there. How about Miles Turner, dude? He's averaging like 3.5 blocks a game. That dude's a beast.
It's absurd.
The Pacers?
Dude, it's like 2K numbers.
And, dude, the Pacers are without T.J. Warren and Karis LeVert, too. When they come back, like, they're going to be good.
T.J. Warren was balling in the bubble like no one ever seen. Mm-hmm. Guy was putting up 40 a game, no problem.
So Jimmy Butler was on him. Then he should have bricked.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Jimmy Buckets,
dude. He was doing nice, though, Warren.
Yeah, that's a team. I swear to God, like they just need one more superstar because they have like so many good role players too. That team's like got a lot of talent. Malcolm Brogdon too has been filthy this year. He's been filthy. Brogdon's been absolutely disgusting. I'm sure the Bucks are kicking themselves in the ass a little bit not re-signing him, but he's playing really nice. Another guy I got my fantasy squad, so I'm watching these guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, you look 1 through 5. They got when healthy. They got Brogdon. They got LeVert. They have T.J. Warren. Then they have Domantas Sabonis, who is a machine. He's putting up like 18 and 10 a night.
He's criminally underrated too.
A night. Yeah.
Oh, ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And then they have Miles Turner at center. It's like all 5 of those guys are great quality.
That is a solid.
That's a 6 starting 5. That's a 6 starting 5. If they get all 5 of them on the court this year, they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah. I mean,
no doubt.
It's like their culture too. They've always been scrappy. I love that culture. I love
it. And it seems to me like they have a pretty decent bench too.
Yeah, I mean they've always had pieces. They compete every year, but they usually don't, like you were saying, Vin. They don't usually have like that one guy that's gonna get them over the hump. It's tough.
Yeah, they don't have that guy who's gonna go score him 30.
Especially like when they had Paul George back in the day and Danny Granger, who people forget about. Like they had to go up against the Miami Heat LeBron or fucking Cavaliers LeBron with Kyrie and Love. It's like you're not gonna beat him. You're not gonna beat him.
No.
Like
that was a great team, though. Man.
They can't even breathe the same air as LeBron. So
old school Lance, man. They had a squad.
Nice.
They had a squad.
Yeah. Roy Hibbert, people forget about. He was nice too.
Roy Hibbert. That was a great team. I think if Miami wasn't in the way, they probably could have lost in the finals.
They used to go 6 to 7 games with them. I think it was back-to-back years they went.
Yeah.
Crazy. We'll go on to the Celtics. Major disappointment so far this season. I said it from the start of the year. I would have liked them to get a guy like Serge Ibaka, a big man who can not only defend the rim, but he can stretch the floor. He can make more open lanes for Tatum and Brown to drive to the rack. They just didn't pursue him. They went after the Kardashian motherfucker, Tristan. Kardashian hose.
We were talking before the season started.
What happened?
I said, you and me were talking before the season started. Tice is not the answer, man.
Dude, Tice is a solid backup.
He's not the answer. You need to have – if they had a great big man, that team would be real dangerous.
He brings
real dangerous.
I honestly think the Celtics could realistically win it all, beat the Lakers, Clippers, whoever comes out the West, if we literally just had a solid center. If you gave us we need probably a top of the line guy. Bam Adebayo would be sick for the Celtics too. I would love a guy like that.
Miles Turner. If you gave us
even Miles Turner.
Miles Turner can shoot. People forget he can shoot. He's not going to hit the 3-guy clip, but he can shoot. He can spread the floor. Decent mid-range.
You don't even need that.
You know,
if they get a guy who can go 10 and 10 and protect the rim, that's an upgrade.
Ibaka. I literally said it as soon as I saw Ibaka free agent, I go, Ibaka, bro. He's a veteran guy. He brings a lot. He's a championship. He won a championship with the Raptors. He brings championship level basketball. He's been there multiple times. He was on OKC Thunder when they went up and played the Heat too. He can protect the rim. He's not as good as the defender as he used to be, but he can still protect the rim. He's a force. He can shoot the three at a high clip. He's become a great three-point shooter. It's like it just opens so much space on the floor, and he's agile enough to move laterally to go out to the stretch bigs on the other teams and defend them or protect the rim inside. It's like people underestimate how much a big man truly makes such a difference. You know.
No, they do. I think it's like honestly, it's the centerpiece to a team, in my opinion. The really good teams that win it usually have a dominant big man, like most teams.
Absolutely.
I saw it today. I don't even know. I hear this rumor every day, like about a different guy getting rumored to get traded to Boston. But Drummond apparently is on the Celtics list of people to get. He's the guy that can put up some good offensive numbers and get boards. I don't know how good defensively he is. I don't know. Maybe Dell or Dylan, you guys can speak to that.
Yeah,
he can rim protect. He's not going to meet you at the 3-point line though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He can't shoot and he can't protect the three. So
the problem with him is when you get into the playoffs and you got to go small ball.
Yeah,
that's where Ibaka. If they could have had him,
dude, he's
in the playoffs.
6'9".
They could have spread everybody out, went small ball, and Tatum and Brown would have just went to work.
They could have ran Kemba, Smart, Brown, Tatum, and then Ibaka. That would have been that
would have been dangerous
in the league.
You'd have to take your center out. I mean, and try to match it.
Because Ibaka originally came in the league as a power forward because he's only 6'9". But, you know, the way the game's evolved, thanks to guys like Chris Bosh and Dirk and Tim Duncan, you know, I mean, he was being able to stretch the floor. He plays a lot of center now. He's primarily a center now.
Yeah. He's extremely strong, too.
He's strong.
He'll box it right out.
Did anybody know what they gave the Clippers gave him for a contract? Because I feel like he wasn't that expensive, was he?
Like 15.
I don't think he was.
15.
He got slightly more than Tristan Thompson, which obviously he's worth more than Tristan Thompson because Tristan Thompson can't really shoot the three ball. So, and he's smaller than a box.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to this real quick before we keep moving on. We haven't done if we were like buying their playoff run or if we're passing it really. So, what do you guys think from 8 to 4 where we're at? Do you think the Hornets are going to make it this year or not?
Hornets flick, Knicks flick.
Ooh, I don't know. That's a 50-50 shot for me. I think if Julius Randle keeps playing at an all-star level, they got a chance at the 7-8 spot.
Yeah.
Actually, playoffs, I think that they'll make it in terms of going all the way. You know what I mean?
No, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, the Hornets, the way I see it, the Hornets are 50-50 if the heat up. The Knicks, I think, are going to take a playoff spot, but they're not going to go far. Pacers, they're definitely going to playoff spot. Depends if they come back, how far they'll go, the big guys. Celtics, playoff spot, but I don't really see them going any further.
I'd like to see the Celtics snap out of it. I really would.
What about you, Vin?
If I had to look at the teams that are in right now, I would say the Hornets probably won't make it. I'm just looking at the teams that are just outside. Like, I think realistically, the Hawks, Heat, and Bulls can all make a push to make one of those 7 or 8 seeds, maybe even higher if they end up getting hot like late in the year. So I'm thinking that the Hornets will actually fall off at one point. They had a hot start. I think they're going to fall off. The Raptors, I think, will probably squeak in. I think they've been playing a little bit of ball lately. The Knicks, I think, will eventually fall off, similar to what you said, Del. If anything, they'll maybe get an 8 seed. But I think the 5 to the 1 seed will make it. I think all those teams from the Pacers all the way up to the Sixers will make it.
Yeah, I pretty much see the way the standings are now staying the same. I would see only the Hornets falling off, which is highly likely, and it's either going to be the Bulls or the Heat that go right in that spot.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. I think one of those teams will catch fire at some point in the year.
Yeah, I definitely think the Heat are going to make it.
They got a lot of talent. They just need to get their shit together.
I think second half of the season they'll right the ship. Jimmy Buckets will get them going.
He's a dog, dude.
I just think they will. I mean, he's just
the illegitimate.
He's that guy, man.
You guys ever seen that? They used to say he was like his bastard son. But good thing you caught that, man. I get so caught up in basketball. I love it.
Yeah, no, we just got. I mean, I think for the next few teams, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, the top 3 seeds are probably going to make it. And realistically, like these are the probably the 3 of the better teams in the league. So I mean, going into number 3 now, we get the Bucks. Obviously, they're really solid.
Yeah, they're gonna make it no matter what.
16-12 on the year right now. Giannis is a fucking monster. The guy doesn't stop. The guy's a consistent force on both ends of the floor. And that team just has another team, bunch of good role players around him. Chris Middleton's still balling too. I mean, that whole team is very good.
Nice too. I loved him since he was on the Sixers. D Money's weapon. Back when it was just Drew Holiday and Iguodala battling the Celtics.
Man.
They used to go run for that money.
Drew Holiday, man, he was awesome. That was a huge pickup for them, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I think that could be all the difference. That could be all the difference for them. But I don't think it will be.
He can hit those clutch shots that Giannis can't.
Yep.
Giannis,
you got to think
right now so far this season, he's gone to the free throw line with the game on the line. He misses for fucking free throw.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he needs to really just start working on getting outside a little bit more. I know he's shooting the threes, but he's got to really get in there and start working on it because it's kind of predictable at this point. You saw what the Heat did to them in the playoffs. I mean, they just put a wall up in front of him and he couldn't go anywhere. They were like, you're not getting in the paint now. Now what are you gonna do? And then he just folded. I mean, he did. Great player, but definitely got to work on that outside game.
He's still young too. He's still got plenty of time. So
absolutely, he's going to be in the league for a long time.
You got to think the Bucks at one point they're going to have to make the finals at some point. It could be this year. I mean, they've been fucked every year. Like they're always the best team in the East going in every year, and they always blow it every time. And I think the Drew Holiday pickup was huge for them. And I think those guys around them are getting a lot better. DiVincenzo, some of those other guys, they're starting to evolve, get into a better form of basketball, and they're playing good as a team. I do like them making a deep run this year. But obviously there's a lot of talent in the East as well as the West this year. So it's going to be tough. Whoever makes it is going to have to be playing the best ball. I think whoever's the hottest is going to win realistically.
They're def a pick for sure.
I think this might be the Bucks' hardest run.
Yeah. Especially with the super team over in Brooklyn now, which gets us to the two spot. So.
Yeah, for me, this team's a pick to make the playoffs, but I don't buy all that bullshit Stephen A. Smith championship hype. I think when it comes to championship, they're a flick. I don't think so.
You're absolutely right, Del.
They're on pace to be the greatest offensive team rating-wise, but then they're on pace to be the worst defensive team rating-wise. And I know that they just added Andre Roberson to try to correct that because he's a great perimeter defender, but it's like you can't. You just can't. You trade Jared Allen away, who is the team's best defender, and at the time you're already terrible on defense, so you got even worse. You have DeAndre Jordan, who's past 30 and just is not the same player anymore. KD, who's been out multiple games already. Harden, who's just a locker room cancer, even though he can ball, and he's gotten his defense a lot better, I might add. Last season, he led the league in total steals. And then Kyrie, who's just – that guy's fucking – he acts like he's doing like a fucking thing of mushrooms like every day. That guy's like
he's
Cloud 9.
Wicked unpredictable, that guy, man.
That guy's bad.
You don't know when he's just going to take out to Cabo for a few.
He's all over the place.
They can hit shots, no doubt. They have so many great shooters between Kyrie, KD, Harden, and they got Joe Harris. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna make buckets, but they don't have that defense to compete with teams who are going to grit and grind them down the stretch. Teams that are like just as talented. A team like the Lakers fully healthy, or the Clippers, or even like the Bucks. Like if they're like on a roll, you know what I mean? Like your luck's
they're not going to play. They're not going to play the Lakers. I'll tell you now, they're not making it out of the East.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think
I agree. I don't think they're going to make it.
Is the conference final, and they won't make it that far. You know what I mean? That's like they're like I will lick white dog shit if they somehow win the championship. That's been I did.
No, it's not going to happen. So
last year when the Ravens were on like that, They were like, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're going to the Super Bowl. I was like, dude, I will lick white dog shit before they even make it to the AFC Championship game. And then they got clapped by Last King 2 in the semis.
Last King 2.
I mean, without defense, you're not winning anything. You're just not.
Defense
There's
any
too many
sport.
good teams out there, too many
proven.
good scorers, and their bench is completely eliminated. They got rid of they cleared out Levert, they cleared out Levert and Jared Allen, and on top of that, Dinwiddie's out for the year now, so they literally have no bench at all. There's no bench, there's no defense. They can only score. That's pretty much it.
James Harden's a top 5 player in the league, and I think it made them worse trading for him.
Yeah, legit. I said the same
100%.
thing. I got a bunch of slack over it. I'm like, dude, like, if you look at their roster, not talent-wise, their roster, like, it got worse. Their bench got worse. Their defense got worse. The only thing
And they lost a bunch of draft picks.
As if they needed scoring. Yeah. And they gave up, like, 4 first-round picks and, like, two pick swaps. Like, it was crazy. And
yeah,
Harden's
Harden, like you said, Harden's the top 5 player in the league. He's disgusting, but, like, they cleared house for him, and but the biggest problem is, like, it's okay, all right, whatever. You're building a super team for the next few years, give away a couple picks, whatever. But they gave away their entire bench, too, to go with it.
No, like, even the next few years, Vin, he's on a 1-year contract. He could say, fuck you, I'm not re-signing here. They gave up 4 first rounds.
If he does that, dude, he's completely fucking up.
Allen and Levert, on a trade just to get Harden.
If this
it could blow up real quick.
The only way this pays off for them is if he doesn't resign. Like anything about a championship is pretty much an L for the Nets. Pretty much. Like if they don't win a championship, then this is an L altogether. Because like you said, he can just pick up and leave next year if he doesn't like it.
Dude, this trade was almost as bad as when the Celtics traded them KG and Pierce. Almost as bad. Almost.
That was brutal.
Dude, they should have had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. We got them 2 with the picks we got from them.
So funny.
Dude, it's like,
oh my God.
When do you
think about that trade again? It's just so ridiculous.
They gave up like 35-plus-year-old KG and Pierce for, well, it was Chris Humphries, Rasheed Wallace, like 3 first-round picks, and they were like all top 5 picks. I think we actually got Brown, Marcus Smart, and Tatum from those 3 picks. And we got, I forget who else. It was like one other like point guard. He's like a shooter. I forget, but like we got all that.
Sold their future.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Sold their future twice.
It's literally insanity. You do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's nonsense.
Because that team was like low-key really good last year without any big stars.
They were nasty to start the season. The first like 15 games of the year, they were still the top team in the East. If they kept that team the way it was, I literally would have said that they would have went to the finals because they were that good without Harden. They were that good. They already played the Bucks twice before the season. They already beat them twice.
Yeah, to me, they gave up too much for Harden. Obviously, that's a lot to say. Like I said, Harden's a great player, whatever. You're gonna have to give up the house for him. Obviously, Houston wasn't walking away with nothing in that deal. So, like realistically, like they did what they had to do. But like at the same time, I don't think they needed them just because KD and Kyrie will do plenty of the scoring. You don't need that. But they just traded away the whole future just in case this thing doesn't work out, and they traded away their 2 best bench players. Levert was sick, and he can start in a lot of teams and be effective. Every time he got an opportunity, he balled. Dinwiddie's obviously there, but he's hurt. He got a serious injury, and then Jared Allen was a beast too at the center position. They just let him walk. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know how you let Jared Allen walk. It's so ridiculous. I mean,
yeah, they needed him because, like Mike said, DeAndre Jordan's at the end of his career, so they needed him.
They're gonna get into the playoffs. Someone's gonna put up 130 a game on them, and they're not gonna. It's gonna be over.
Yeah.
All you need it's almost like Houston 2.0, like how the Rockets were with Harden. It's like they could shoot, they could score all they want, but they don't have any defense. It's like you eventually can't put up 140 every night and beat a team. You know what I mean? Especially when you're all 3 balls. Like it's the lowest percentage shot on the court. Eventually your luck is going to run out. Can't live and die by the 3.
No, you can't. But a lot of teams feel like that's the way to go.
A lot of teams lose. That's why. There's only one winner.
Absolutely right.
Let's move on, boys. Let's cover the Sixers. They're number 1 seed right now, 18-10 Eastern Conference. They're playing some pretty damn good basketball. Joel Embiid's fucking balling. That team's pretty solid. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think the Sixers They're always top 5 in the East. I mean, every year.
They always find a way to blow it.
I don't know. I just don't feel like they've grown leaps and bounds to really do anything. They'll find a second round exit.
The only difference
they just will.
Is JoJo's on an is on MVP level. He's actually my favorite out of him, LeBron, and Jokic to win MVP so far. But I think that if LeBron balls while AD is out these next few weeks, then down the road, like when they're looking at, okay, who are we going to pick for the award, that'll decide the case. You know what I mean? If the Lakers still come out with a positive,
I don't know if it will.
I think
at this point they're sick of giving LeBron the trophy.
Yeah, that's
like last year. I mean, he was the MVP last year. Then he went and proved it in the playoffs afterwards. After they gave it to Giannis.
I'm sure he'd rather win the ring than win the trophy anyway. That's how most.
I'd take the trophy. I mean,
You take the MVP instead of a chip?
I'd take the chip.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'd rather win the chip, win the ring, than win the MVP trophy. Who the fuck cares?
If I'm a first 4-year player, I'll take the MVP because I know I'm getting paid out.
Yeah. Plus, you have so much more time to win the chip. You know.
Exactly. But I mean, 36 years old, I'm taking the trophy.
Yeah.
And he's already been paid what? Guy's probably almost worth $1 billion at this point.
I think he actually recently did just hit a billionaire. Deal. I think he's actually a billionaire. I'm dead serious after his endorsements.
Probably is.
All of his like accumulating contract from his time he started in the NBA to now. I'm pretty sure he's made over $1 billion in revenue.
I think he makes 90 to 100 million a year. It's insane.
Yeah, no, the guy's
absolutely ridiculous.
Bathing in money. But yeah, I mean, he obviously deserves the praise. He's a G, so he gets the job done every year. So can't hate on him.
King.
Sixers are def a lock to make the playoffs, but for them to go to the chip, they're a flick. They're phonies. I mean, Doc Rivers, he's put on a great Coach of the Year candidate job after getting the boot from the Clips, blowing the 3-1 lead versus the Nuggets. But again, he is the same coach that has a record for blowing the most 3-1 leads in the playoffs. And this Sixers team is notorious for blowing leads and losing in the playoffs. So it's probably just going to be more of the same.
I think as long as Ben Simmons just doesn't continue to – I mean, you have – in this day and age, I mean, you have to be able to shoot outside shots. And if you don't, no one's going to play on you. And you just I mean, you're not really an asset to the team. I mean, he is. I mean, obviously, he does a lot of great things, but in that sense, it's it slows them down, you know? It does.
It limits. Yeah. There's so many more openings when you could hit the shots, you know?
It hinders the whole game. I mean, it really does.
He'd be one of the best players in the league if he could be a spot-up shooter with what he normally does.
He'd be a top 5 player in the league, no doubt about it.
He is players in the league. He can't even shoot. Like, he has, in my eyes, like the way his game is, the way he puts up numbers, just the way he plays, it reminds me so much of LeBron James, but he just can't shoot. That's the only thing that really separates him apart. Dude's a walking triple-double. He's a 6'9" guy who can play the point. He's a tremendous defender. You know what I mean? It's like
he does it all, but he can't shoot the ball. And that's just going to hinder them. I mean, and it will continue to hinder them until he figures it out.
I honestly don't get it. I don't understand how he hasn't fixed his shot in so many years. Like this guy is probably the best trainers in the world, like trying to work and craft his shot. Like he's a guard. It's not like he's like, clumsy out there. He's not like he's, a fucking walking statue out there. He should be able to shoot a ball. Like I don't understand. Like, he's an NBA athlete. Like that's all they do. I just don't understand how he hasn't shown any improvement. I don't get it.
I think what bothers me the most is it's not even that he can't shoot. He refuses to shoot.
Yeah.
Like even if you're gonna shoot, like you can shoot 1 for 10. All right, at least shoot 5 times. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like give yourself a shot at least.
Make you better at it. I feel like. I mean, he's not even trying.
He's petrified.
Yeah.
He's just scared. He's scared to do it. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, he gets made fun of every time. He's on fucking SportsCenter every time he takes a free throw. So I mean, I feel the same way.
And you got to get over it eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He'd rather spend a shitload of time up Kendall Jenner's ass than fucking in the gym shooting the 3-ball.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. D-Book gave him that work, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so realistically now, if we look at all these teams, like, honestly, not we didn't really talk too highly on like really any, to be quite honest, to make the finals. I think out of the ones we talked about, like it seemed like the Bucks were the favorite for us. I think
Out of the East,
out of the
I think.
yeah,
Ooh, I don't know. I don't have a favorite in the East. I don't.
the East is really tough to predict because it's not like I don't know. It's not very predictable in my opinion. I think it could go a lot of ways. It's going to be whoever's hot at the time. I think team that's like best suited right now would probably be the Bucks in my opinion, just because they've been shorted so many times, and I just think that team is like they're getting more playoff experience every year. As long as Giannis is healthy, they're going to have a shot every year. No one stops that guy. So I think right now my favorite would probably be the Bucks, if they don't blow it. So
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, it really depends on the matchup for me.
yeah,
Who's there at the end, and then I think if the Celtics and the Nets were there at the end, I think the Celtics. I would take them.
yeah, I could see that for sure.
I think they can just
would be a
score the
good
ball
series.
on them.
That would be a good series. It would at least go 6, in my opinion.
I just think the Celtics can score the ball on them.
What did you say, Mike?
I don't have the heart to take the Celtics. So I know they get clapped by any team in the West, and I would hate to see that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I honestly the East is a lot more tough to predict, but like right now, I'd probably say the Bucks is my pick. If you guys had to go one right now at this point in the year, who would you take?
If you're pushing me, I think I'm going Milwaukee probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
they got Giannis.
before the
I mean, it is what it is.
too. Teams can take a drastic dive or a drastic turnaround before and after the break.
Yeah, this is just from like right now what we see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, it could change. It could change later in the year. We'll do another one updating at the end of the year.
They're the most consistent. There's the least questions about them. The only thing we have to worry about is who's going to hit the shot down the stretch to win the game.
The only thing I'm worried about with them is the not winning before. They have no pedigree of winning, and the Nets do.
The win is they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, Oscar Robertson.
Yeah,
That's. We'll see. I hope Giannis can get it together. I'd like to see him get a ring.